Hi guys, I'm back again. Today's topic is when you need help, ask for it. You know, I really don't understand something. Let's say, on an average, let's say out of 10 people, I have noticed around 3 would ask for help or ask for some guidance, but the other 7 would not. The question is why? Well, one or two reasons which comes in my mind is either out of that 7, maybe 3 or 4, um, they think they can do it on their own. They can handle things on their own, and the balance 3 probably would think that they don't need help. I mean, they have too much of an ego, and that ego stops them from asking for help. You know, when I was in school, I think it was class 7, one of my class teachers um, asked us a very simple question. We were around 40 to 50 of us, and he asked us, is there anyone amongst you who thinks he can do things all by himself? He can live alone. And some of us, including me, um just as we were kids and we were not aware of life and all that, and so just like fools, some of us just raised our hand. And then the teacher looked straight into our eyes and said, you think you can live alone? You think you can manage things on your own? The very bench you're sitting is made by someone. The fan which is above you, which is moving, is made by someone. The school bag you're carrying is made by someone. So never ever think that you can live alone, that you don't need anyone. The only people who think that they can live alone, probably they should be staying in a jungle or a forest. But we're not in a jungle. We live in this society, and so we need society. And so, friends, I'm telling you, if you're into any kind of confusion or there's trouble, or where there's a family issue, whether it's an addiction issue, whether it's a relationship issue, whether it's peer pressure in the college, and you're confused, and you don't know how to go about it, and you need guidance, ask for that guidance. Be humble enough to ask for that guidance. In the Bible, one of the verses says that in the abundance of counselors, there is safety, because the counselors will guide you in the right way. But to take counsel, to take guidance, you need to be humble. And remember, humility is a leadership quality. So people who have too much of an ego or too much of pride, and they think that they don't need help, uh, guys, you can never be leaders. Because one of the leadership qualities is also humbleness or humility. So if you need help, ask for it. I deal with a lot of college students, and I know in colleges, as many students they shared with me, there's so many issues. One of the trends which I am noticing in the last couple of years, that in the college, having a boyfriend or a girlfriend has become a status symbol, which is actually it's sad. I mean, and people are feeling out of place. Suppose in a group of 8 or 10 friends, and if 3 people or 4 have boyfriends or girlfriends, and 2 or 3 don't have, they think that, I mean, they're out of place, and then they look out for someone, which is again very sad. I remember, I'm not going to mention the name of the college. I went to this college for training, and I was just having tea in one of the canteens, and there was a group of students, and I know they were from first years, engineering college. They were all sitting in a circle, and I was having tea at the side, and accidentally I just overheard their conversation, and I was hearing one person is saying, or in fact, some of them were discussing who's proposing whom. I mean, come on. Of course, if you get into a relationship, that's okay. If things are going well, and you have plans and all, that's okay. But don't get into stuff just for the status symbol. Because trust me, I have seen many heartbreaks. I have seen many breakups. As many young people, they get entangled in so many things, and then let's say in a relationship, and then there's a breakup, and then they come to me, and then I guide them in the right way, and help them to come back to normalcy, facing life again positively and all that. So in these kind of stressed environment, or peer pressure as I would call it, whether it's this whole relationship issue, or whether it's addiction issue, there's so many boys and girls who are experimenting with drugs, experimenting with alcohol, and getting addicted to all these substances, including getting addicted to pornography and all, and then they don't know how to deal with it. And in all those cases, they need help. In all those cases, they need guidance. But again, the whole point is that it's only the humble who seek for guidance. Recently, in the last couple of months, I've had 2 3 people who actually called me and asked help as to how to come out of pornography. And there are girls and boys who are watching pornography, and after they watch and all that, and then they go through this whole guilt kind of a kind of a phase, and they don't know how to deal with it. You need help. You just need to talk to someone and ask how to come out of this addiction. Please understand this, that all of us, including me, I mean, we go through phases, and at times we need guidance, we need help. Ask for it. Don't just sit back and think, no, I can do it alone, I can handle it alone, I don't need anyone and all that. Something, one of the reasons why most of the college students, they share anything and everything under the sky with me is I never judge them. There are stuff which people share which you can't even dream about it. I mean, I cannot say it on camera, but the stuff they've done, and they cannot even dream of sharing it with their parents. And when they come to me and they share with me, I never judge them. Never. I listen to them as a best friend, and then I guide them in the right way. One of the things I have learned from the Bible is, as God says there, never judge anyone. Never judge anyone. So, and that's the reason why most of the students are very close to me, and they share all their problems with me, no matter how serious the problem is, because they know that I will not judge them, and I will listen to them like a father figure, like a friend. And I'll tell you something else. Have you ever wondered one thing, that all this counseling and I do, why do I do it? Why am I recording this video on all these issues and guiding you? Why did I create Godly Words of Wisdom page on Facebook where I write articles? Why do I send motivational messages to people around the world on WhatsApp? Why do I do all these things? Have you ever wondered that? Let me tell you. And by the way, all this counseling I do, which takes almost 70% of my time, I do it for free. I do it for free. Not that I have enough money. In fact, I don't. People who are close to me, they know my financial struggles. Well, I'll come to that later. But let me tell you something else. Why God has put this on my heart to reach out to the broken society, to the hurting people? Well, let me tell you. Around 15 years back, when I got 1 or 2 calls from the college, different colleges, to come to the college and take sessions on all youth related issues, like relationship issues, like love, infatuation, peer pressure, drugs, alcohol, how to come out of emotional hurts. So on these topics, when the college asked me to take sessions in the college, I went. And thanks to that college, that after my session was over, they gave me 2 chairs and a table in a room, in a cubicle, and told me and asked me that if students come to you for one-to-one counseling, please guide them. And I said, great, I'll do that. I'll be more than happy to do that. And that's how it started. And when I saw these students from PU to degree, coming and sharing all their problems, whether it was relationship problems, whether it was addiction problems, where there was family issues, I started understanding the depth of their pain. I started feeling that pain. In fact, I can never forget one of those days when I had just finished taking a session for second PU, okay, in Bangalore. And I finished taking the session, and I was coming on the bike home. And on the bike, while I was traveling, I got a call. So I stopped my bike, I put it aside, and I received that call. And a girl from the other end of the phone asks me one question, and she asks me this question, and the question is, she asks me, uncle, do you know where I can go for an abortion? I was stunned, and I knew very well that it was one of the PU students, because I just finished taking the session there, and I had given my number to them, and I knew it was one of them. Mind you, she's second PU, and usually what's the age? It's around 16 or 17. So second PU girl, 16 or 17-year-old girl, is pregnant now, and she's asking me this question: where do I go for an abortion? For a few seconds, I was dumbstruck. But then, I'm always there to guide people, so naturally these things I will not talk on the phone. So I just asked her that, can we meet? Can we sit and talk? And the moment I said that, she cut the call. Because naturally she didn't want to meet anyone. She was so traumatized by the whole thing, and the family and society and all that. She was scared to meet anyone. I hope and prayed that she would have met me, because if she would have met me, I would have guided her in the right way. But she just cut the call. And when I tried to call back that number, she wouldn't receive it. And that day I understood the gravity of the situation, that how much pain people are going through, and they need guidance. And that was the time when God started speaking to me in prayer, and God started telling me that, Amit, you've got to reach out. And there have been so many cases after that. I've had people, the addiction issues, alcoholism. And by the way, I told you I'll come back to it later about my counseling thing, and I said I do it for free. I actually do it for free. You know something? Let me tell you my commitment towards this counseling and wiping the tears of people. I'm being very serious now. So many of my friends, so many of my relations also, they just don't understand why I do what I do, because I don't take fees. And because I don't take fees, sometimes I personally go through a lot of financial problems. There are counselors who charge fees. There are counselors who charge fees on telephonic counseling, though of course very few counselors counsel on telephone, but if they do, some of them, they charge fees for counseling on the phone. They would ask the counselee to deposit a certain amount, and then they would counsel. But I do it for free. In fact, out of 100%, I would say 70% of my counseling happens over the phone. It's telephonic counseling. And there are these people whom I've never met, from outstation, from another country, and they would just call and share their problems with me on the phone, and I would guide them. And sometimes I'm on the call for around 2 hours at a stretch, and I don't charge. I want you to understand the sacrifices I make. And trust me, I go through a lot of financial crisis, and people who are close to me, they know me. I think it was around, like, I've come on television many times, guiding society in various issues. Around 7-8 years back, when one of the TV stations called me for the first time, I didn't have shoes to wear. And I was I was just wearing my slippers and just going out. For me, my shoes, my all this tie and all doesn't make me. I am what I am, and my self-esteem, my self-worth comes from what I am or who I am, and I know I'm made in God's image, and I'm the apple of God's eye. So all this tie and shoes and all don't make me. And so I was just going to the studio wearing a slipper, but my mom was in the house, and my mom said, I mean, first time you're going on TV, and why are you wearing slippers? I said, Ma, I don't have shoes, and my shoes are all torn up. And mommy says, no, you're not going in slippers. You go, you still have time, go repair the shoes, and then you're going to go, then you're going to wear the shoes and go to the studio. Now, moms are moms, and they would they would think all these things. So just to please my mom, I said, "Acha, theek hai, okay, fine, I'll do it." So I went to the cobbler. I repaired my shoes. It was all torn and all that, but I somehow repaired it, and then wore it and went to the studio to record my first debate or discussion on some topic. And by the way, my first television show, I did not inform one soul on planet Earth that I'm coming on TV. Now, usually when you come on TV for the first time, you inform all your relatives and friends, you want them to watch you and all that. I didn't do that. Because for me, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I knew God is using me for a purpose now, and I just have to go and do it. I didn't inform anyone. And after, so I went and I took part in that show. And then after that, I came on television many times. And but later on, when people started coming to know that I'm coming on television and I'm giving such nice talks on television, and they're missing it out because they don't know when the next program is going to come. So they started telling me, Amit, when you come next time on TV, please inform us. We want to see that program and all that. I said, okay, fine. So from next time onwards, I started telling them, okay, I'm coming on so and so date, so and so time on this channel. You can watch the program, and then so I went on telling them. And by the way, again, going on TV doesn't mean I get money. No, I don't. They would just send a car to pick me up, and the car would take me to the studio, and I would just speak what I had to speak, and the car will drop me back. It's all social work. There's no money involved. They don't pay. At least they didn't pay me or the other speakers who came to the studio to record. Trust me, I go through extreme financial crisis. My own friends, they call me a fool. They say, यार तू तो पागल है, इतना तो counseling करता है. If you charge fees, at least you earn something. I say no. This is a godly assignment in my life, and I'm not going to charge fees. Kind of sacrifice I make, you have no idea. Even in between, in 2012, I think, I had met with a terrible accident. I was on the bike and a truck hit me. Terrible, very serious accident. And when I was admitted to the hospital, I had no money to pay the bills. It was God's grace that the doctor, he cut down 50% of his fees, and still I didn't have the balance money. Again, it was miraculously that people started sending me money, and so I could pay my hospital bills, and I came out. Even recently, a couple of months back, my own mom, my mother, she was hospitalized, and I had no money. And again, miraculously, people sent some money, and I could pay the bills. Last week, I was not well at all, and I didn't have the money to go to the doctor. 2 days I was in the house, and somehow one of my close friends, who's like a daughter to me, she's very close to me. I know her since PU times, so it's almost 10 years I know her. And the moment she came to know I was not well, and I didn't have the money to pay the doctor's fees, she immediately messaged me and told me, I'm transferring 2,000 into your account, please go to the doctor tomorrow. I said, okay, fine. And she sent the money, and next day I went to the doctor, got the test done, and whatever. I want you to understand one thing in all this, what I'm sharing. This has been a godly assignment for me. You know something? Sometimes I get threatening calls in all the social work, but God keeps on protecting me. I can never forget one incident where um, there was this lady who was every day getting beaten up by her husband, her alcoholic husband, and she got my number from some place, and she called me and she said, "Can you please help me? I have two small children, and this my husband is beating me every day. He's an alcoholic and all that." So I went to the house, I sat with them, discussed everything, and then we decided of putting the husband into a rehab center. Now, I put him in the rehab center for his good. The wife knew, everybody knew. He was there for 6 months. And after he comes out from the rehab, after 6 months, he comes back to his home, to his family, to his friends and all. He starts saying all stupid things about the rehab, and they didn't give him food to eat, and I put him in a very bad rehab and all that, which is not correct, because I always do a proper research and a survey of a rehab before I admit someone there. But he was really angry at me, and he started spreading all these wrong rumors. Why? You know why? Because for 6 months he could not drink, so he was so angry at me. And so they all called me to their house. I said, okay, I'll come. I went there. It was around 8:30 in the night, in the evening, sorry. And I saw his friends, and they were all from the slum areas. I saw all his friends and all almost surrounding me. And mind you, from there, I had to go to another family which was around 5 kilometers away, where this a drug addict boy was troubling his family, and his father had called me that, can you please come home and talk to my son? So I said, I'll go there. So now, but first I reached here by 8 o'clock, and I saw all this tamasha and all this commotion, and all these guys surrounding me, and they had all the intention of beating me up. And this guy was trying to convince his friends that all the negative stuff about how the rehab treated him or mistreated him and all that, which was not true in the first place, because his main anger was that he couldn't drink for the last 6 months, because he was in a rehab for treatment. So naturally, in rehabs you don't get drink. So he could not drink there, and that's why he was so angry. He was so angry. That day I could actually feel in my heart the angels surrounding me. And somehow I spoke to them, told them the truth, convinced them. And there was another couple. Again, I believe God used them as angels, who came there, and they spoke on my behalf to this family that no, this guy was deep into alcohol. He used to beat his wife. And so this gentleman by the name of Amit, he admitted him to the rehab center, as his wife wanted him to get admitted in the rehab center for his own good. And the family understood. But this guy, the actual guy, he kind of, brainwashed his friends and all. And it almost became 10 o'clock. And I cannot forget, I sat on my bike. One of his friends came close to my helmet with his fist going to hit me. But something stopped his fist. He could not go further. And I just looked straight into his eyes, started my bike. And I could hear him telling his friends that the path I'm going to take now to my house, he informed all his, all the gunda friends, that this guy with this shirt and this pant and coming on a bike, he'll be passing this way. I mean, just if you see him, just kill him. But I had no fear. Why? Because the angels were with me and God was with me. And with that peace in my heart, I started my bike and I went. And I went where? I didn't go home. I went to that house where the father had called me to talk to their drug addict son. And I went to that house. I spent almost 3 hours there. And then I started my bike again and I reached back home at 1:32 in the morning. Friends, this has been my life. This has been my life. Um, I wanted to understand this. If I had started charging people fees for counseling, trust me, I would have earned lakhs till now. And I would have personally had no financial problems. But I never did. Because I always felt that God has given me this assignment to wipe the tears of people and show them the correct path. So it's okay. It's okay. Even if I go through financial trouble, it's okay. As long as you're helped, as long as you're transformed, as long as you're happy, and your happiness gives me my happiness. Of course, if people give me some money out of love and respect, I take it. I bless it and I take it. I'll share another incident. I always love sharing miracles, because when I share miracles, it will encourage you also. That if God can do a miracle for Amit, God can do it for us. I remember one girl one day called me and she said, um, um, Uncle, my father is not well and he's bedridden. Can you come home and pray for him? I said, sure, I'll come. But on that day, I didn't have money. I didn't have money in my purse. I didn't have money in my bank. And I had that much petrol in my bike where I could go to that family, but I had no way. I mean, I didn't know how I'll come back, because that house, that family was almost 20 kilometers away. And I had enough petrol in my petrol tank to reach there, but I don't know how I'm going to come back. So I just prayed before leaving the house and I said, God, you have given me this work. Now this girl has asked me to come to pray for her father. I will go, I'll pray. But I have only this much money. Sorry, I have only this much petrol in my petrol tank. That my bike can reach that house, but I don't know how I'm going to come back. So Lord, please bring me back home. I don't know how you're going to do it, but do it. So I started my bike, went to their house, 20 kilometers away. I reached their house. The girl, she took me to the bedroom where the father was lying down. I pulled up a chair next to the bed, put my hands on the father's forehead, and I started praying for him. I finished praying, and then I started leaving the house. Now, as soon as I reached the gate of the house, the mother, that's the girl's father, the girl's mother, the girl's mother told the daughter, tell uncle to wait, don't let him go, tell him to wait. So the daughter, she told me, uncle, can you wait just? I said, okay, fine. So I was just waiting at the doorstep, and then the mother comes, and the mother hands me one envelope, and she says, and these are the specific words she said, and that's what amazes me. She said, you've come from so far, using your own petrol and all. This is just a little token money. Why don't you, I mean, this is just for you, because you spend your own petrol and all that. This is just for you. I said, okay. I took the envelope, I prayed over the envelope, I said thank you, and I left. And when I came down next to the parking lot where my bike was, I opened the envelope and I saw there was 200 rupees in it. I said, wow. I said, thank you, God. And I took that 200 rupees, went to the petrol bunk, put petrol worth 200 rupees, and came back home. And as I was coming back home on the bike, I was just praising and thanking God with tears, that how good God is, and how he takes care. So friends, I want you to understand this. If God has given me this godly assignment, and I've sacrificed my whole life reaching out to the hurting people, wiping their tears, I request you, if you need help, ask. Come to me, I'm always there. And because I've seen so much pain all around, that's the reason God put it in my heart a few years back to start that Godly Words of Wisdom page on Facebook, to write articles, to guide the society, especially the youth. In today's world, the youth are going through so many issues, especially relationship issues, peer pressure, addiction issues, family issues, hurts, emotional hurts, childhood hurts, and they need guidance. And keeping all that in mind, I started writing these articles on my Facebook page to guide society, to counsel them. And then, as you know, I started this video channel on YouTube with the same purpose, that at least through these videos I can guide you, I can show you the right path, how to be happy. I can equip you with those skills, how to be happy, how to be successful in life, how to have peace, how to be at peace with yourself. And so again, I'm telling you, if you need help, ask. I get calls till 1:30 in the night. Sometimes I may get a call from US for counseling. And if it's daytime in US, it's nighttime out here. And let's say the person who's calling me, he's only free at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon to call me. And 2 o'clock afternoon for him in US means around the same time, 1:32 here in the night. That's 1:32 in the morning out here. And I would receive that call. Sometimes I don't even know how many hours I sleep. I would receive that call at 1:32 in the night. Which is our early morning or whatever. And speak to him. Sometimes, I've been like a father figure to so many young people, and it gives me great joy and happiness, when students call me dad and papa and uncle. It gives me so much happiness. Sometimes students call me and they tell me, uncle, I have exams tomorrow. Can you wake me up at 2 o'clock in the night? I want to get up and study. And just like any other father would do, I would say, okay, I'll wake you up. And I will wake her up at 2 o'clock in the night or early morning, and I'll ensure that she studies. So this is what I'll tell her, that okay, get up now. Suppose I called her and say, okay, get up, go wash your eyes, and come back and sit down to study. And once you sit down to study, then message me that you started studying. Message me that you started studying, and then I'll sleep. And she goes and washes her eyes and comes back, and when she starts studying, she messages me, uncle, I'm studying now. I said, okay, bye, all the best. And then I go to sleep. It's a privilege. It's a privilege for me, that God has given me this fatherly heart. God has given me this godly assignment to reach out to the broken people who are hurt. And now I have recently started one more thing. Just this year, whichever place I go for training, whether it's Mangalore, whether it's Hubli, whether it's any place, whichever place I go for training, in the daytime I'm training in the college whole day, and in the evenings I have given time to certain people who have issues. I have given time to them that they can come and meet me, and I meet them in a restaurant and sit and talk. It's not easy for me. Imagine training for 6 hours, 8 hours in the whole day. Usually any other person would like to go back to their hotels and just take a shower and rest and all that, but not me, because I know there's so much pain around. They need me. So after training, I go back to the hotel, freshen up, and again come out and go to that place where I've asked X or Y to meet me, and I would sit down there and talk to him or her for another 2-3 hours. and then I would come back to the hotel by probably 9:30. This is my level of commitment. This is my level of commitment. And you know what surprises me is this. I am willing to go that extra mile to help that individual, but that individual who has that problem doesn't want to make that extra effort. It really amazes me. I mean, let's say I'll give you one classic example. Let's say a person staying in Bangalore has messaged me his or her issue on the phone, and and I know it's a very critical issue, and it's, you cannot guide on certain issues on the phone. You need to meet that person and sit and talk. So I would say in advance, not sorry, I would say to that person that, you know what, I think we should meet. Let's meet. Let's sit and talk. And you know the answer I get from that other end, and that's something which amazes me, surprises me, shocks me. He or she says, "Uncle, can't you send me the solution through an SMS?" My God, my dear, life is not so easy. It's not so easy. You got to make the effort if you want the solution. I can never forget one girl. I will not mention her name because she would be also watching this video, and she will know exactly that I'm talking about her. She traveled almost 8 hours from Belgaum to Bangalore just to meet me because she had some serious issues. And she came, and the whole day she was with me discussing the issue, and I was listening, guiding her. And she had some health problems also. So after guiding her on her emotional issues, then I took her to the doctor, and the doctor saw her and all that. But what I'm trying to say here is, this girl was serious about the solution. If you're serious about the solution, you want a solution to your problem, you better make the effort. You better make the effort. You better make the effort. And if you make the effort, you will get a solution. And I'll tell you, there are many issues where I need to sit and talk with people where the real issue is somewhere else. You know, people, that person may only see the problem from the surface level, but the problem, the root problem may be somewhere else. Maybe the root problem is somewhere in the childhood, somewhere in the upbringing, when he was being brought up in the house by his family, or some issues which happen in the childhood, or something, relating to all these things. So as a counselor, I need to go to the root of the problem and then guide the person in the right way. So guys, I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there.